1, 2, 3, let's go.
Wednesday afternoon, hoping you will tune into our show.
To this planet. So I think it's quite a good question. So I've looked into this and read about it over the years, and it's obviously quite a complex situation. But in brief terms, the earliest fossil evidence was that dinosaurs evolved about 230 million years ago. Now, that's a period of time we can't even think about. But why did they evolve from reptiles previously? It was mainly the climate of the Earth. At that time, and scientists know this for a fact, the Earth was much warmer, almost hot as a climate, very humid, and that perfectly suited the adaptability of the dinosaurs that came along at that time. It suited them perfectly. They could adapt to those conditions. And for 230 million years, they, being like the Tyrannosaurus rex, Stegosaurus and others like that, dominated the kingdom, basically. And we may say, well, what happened then? Well, one of the reasons they did evolve was there had just been a mass extinction. And it's often extinctions of species that trigger new circumstances. And that's what happened. That's partly how they came. Interestingly, that extinction, the ancestors of the dinosaurs started exactly the same time as the ancestors of mammals, of which we are. Well, we are mammals. So that it could have in a way gone either way, but the climate suited the dinosaurs and not the mammals. So in that 230 million years, although there were mammals, the biggest one was about the size of a house cat, and they never really began to develop while the dinosaurs were there. Well, we all know, I think we all know what happened to the dinosaurs. 65 million years ago, after 230 million years, an asteroid, a big rock, hit the Earth and basically wiped out the dinosaurs because the sun was blotted out for some months, if not years, and the food wouldn't grow, etc. But there were survivors. One of the results of that extinction was that the Earth cooled down. So you start to see that in nature, circumstances, there are sequences and things happen, particularly extinctions, which generate a whole new situation. Well, when it cooled down, that suited the mammals that had started the same time as the dinosaurs, all those millions of years before. It suited them, and they started to propagate. They started to grow bigger, much bigger than the cats and things that it was previously. And it's still a huge period of time, but over the next 12 million years, mammals such as bats, whales, and primates evolved through that over the next 12 million years. Now, of course, we originally come from the primates. So 55 million years ago, they came on the scene. And then about 25 million years ago, from the primates, the apes appeared. And again, at that time, humans, or the Homo genus species, and chimpanzees, they went off, they diversified into another one, which really was this hominoid genus. And that was about 6 million years ago. I mean, these millions of years, I mean, it sounds, I'm saying it quickly, but of course it's massive periods of time. And then for the last 200,000 years, not even a million, then the hominoids, the Homo genus really came into its own. And there were quite a few different ones. Homo erectus, we all know about Neanderthals, and there were all these others. And all of them eventually disappeared, but the one that stayed, was developed last really, was the Homo sapien, which was us. Now, there's a lot of research, a lot of dispute really as to exactly when us as modern humans came about. Many scientists think it was about 40,000 years ago, and they were broadly like we are today. But when you think that we've been around as a genus, as a species, maximum 200,000 years, we are the most successful one in terms of controlling what we do and controlling the planet, looking outside as well. But you compare that to the dinosaurs 230 million years, where they reigned supreme. And of course, they didn't really get wiped out. Can you think of anything that is connected to the dinosaurs? Ask you a question there that is
Oh, right.
alive today.
Right. Well, it's the really interesting points that you brought out. Very, very interesting, really educative. However, there's just one problem that I have.
The leader of our gang will make the show go with a bang and fund the aim of everything customers. And fund the aim of everything customers.
Is maximum 200,000 years. We are the most successful one in terms of controlling what we do and controlling the planet, looking outside as well. But you compare that to the dinosaurs 230 million years, where they reigned supreme. And of course, they didn't really get wiped out. Can you think of anything that is connected to the dinosaurs? Ask you a question there that is alive today.
Right. Well, it's the really interesting points that you brought out. Very, very interesting, really educative. However, there's just one problem that I have with the theories that we have, flying about today. The fact that there is a method of measurement or whatever, how you measure whatever you measure, say time, or I think they call it carbon dating. I think that's the word. So now they look at how long this piece of thing has been there.
Yeah.
For instance, when they find these fossils of these dinosaurs, they then look at it and think, well, hang on a minute, because of the condition and because of whatever's grown on it or whatever, on however it is, it must have been around for millions and millions of years. Now, the problem that I would have with that is how, just by carbon dating, are you able to correctly ascertain the time period? And if there's a flaw in your measurement, it throws the whole theory. It's like building a case. It's like, the only way I can compare it is, it's like building a case in court, and you have all these expert witness, and they come around and they say, well, according to this, according to that, and they're all authorities in the various fields, and they come around and they say, well, it would take a car to travel from here to here to have committed a crime or whatever. However, if an expert witness's account is to be debunked, for instance, the whole case is in shambles, then you'd have to rebuild the case to then try to proceed with the proceedings, really. Yeah. And as such, I have that sort of problem with the carbon dating. I'm looking at the carbon dating and I'm thinking, right, your time stamp or authority stamping it and saying we're scientists and we're saying from our experience, this has been around for millions of years. Well, there's no way of actually ascertaining that. There's no way of verifying your account because there's nothing else you can compare it to. So if an asteroid is falling from space and you're thinking, well, this is a piece of asteroid, it's traveled trillions of millions of light years to get here. Well, how do you verify that? See, that's the problem that I have with all the theories about, and it sort of a little bit eats into the evolution theory as well, a little bit. And I'm not debunking anything. I'm not saying evolution is this or that, because that's not that sort of show. This sort of show, our show is a show that is, open-minded.
Of course. Yeah.
We look at things, but unless somebody can say for sure this is how, and the carbon dating, and you can say to me it's been there's a real substance to the measurement, the basis of the measurement, then I would say, okay, well, I would start to look into it. But unless that happens, I still see everything as a kind of, somebody saying something big.
Of our gang will make the show go with a bang and fund the aim of everything cast us and fund the aim